Welcome to the 2023 Lawrence County Goat Show. We would like to welcome our judge today. Drew is from Deschler, Ohio, where he owns and operates Black Swamp Boars. They raise wethers and commercial does to compete on the county, state, and national level. Drew also helps manage the show and sell calves for his family's club calf operation, Sauter Farms. Drew is a 2018 graduate of The Ohio State University, where he majored in agriculture business and competed on the 2016 livestock judging team. He currently works for the crop insurance company, RCIS, and maintains a small row crop operation with his family. Market Goat Show sponsors today: Chris Collier, Lawrence County Educational Service Center Board member; Wade's Workin' Western, Rising Sun Boar Goats; Jeff Floyd, Lawrence County Educational Service Center Board member; Daniels Show Goats, Fuller Show Goats, and Ranch Hands 4-H Club, Scotttown Farmer and Farmettes 4-H Club. Now entering the ring, Class 1. Kenley Folks, tag 38. Lauren Smith, tag 16. Callie Schneider, tag 20. Griffin Fuller, tag 46. And Briggs Morgan, tag 4. Judge, this is your class. Class 2, please report to the holding area at this time.
Well, it's a beautiful day here in Lawrence County, and I want to thank everyone for having me out here to sort through your goat show. And to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect when coming down here, just because I'm not so familiar with this area in terms of the goat quality and things like that. And needless to say, I'm blown away with the quality of these two that start this class. This young man here in the blue shirt, he does such an incredible job getting this thing shown, and I appreciate his presence out here. And he's got a really stout, really powerful kind of goat that's super cracked open through the front 1/3 of his body. That one handles like a brick house there. He's got a ton of power down his top line and in through that loin. And when I analyze him in that rear quarter, he's got enough to match up with that I see up top. Where I'd like to correct this one, I'd like to relax him in his chine bone between his shoulder blades a little bit, and then freshen up his look from a profile, and I think he'd balance up a little bit better there for you, young man. But that's a good goat to start this show. Young lady, you were very close in this top pair here, and this one I think handles with the most amount of power in this class, and he's certainly one that when I get my hands on top of him, I really, really like this one, and might overpower that one in first place there. Where I like to get critical on this one is, I don't like how that one's constructed through the front 1/3 of his body. I'd like to relax that one in the angle of its shoulder. I'd like to elevate that one through his front 1/3, and I'd like to shallow him up through the center portion of his body, he does get a little bit bigger belly on him. But this one's a really stout, really heavy handling one that really is expressive in his overall muscle pattern, and one that I certainly appreciate from an overall carcass standpoint. Congratulations to you, young lady. As we work our way down through this class, a young man here does an excellent job. Good job. Does an excellent job of getting this one shown, and when he first walked in the ring, I didn't think this one would handle with as much expression and power as he would. When I got my hands on him, he was probably the hardest handling goat in this class, and I certainly appreciate that about a kind of goat that can get out here and jump into my hand when I get on top of him and handle him. Where I'd like to correct this one, again, I'd like to pull him apart in his skeleton. I'd like to give him a shot more angle through the rear portion of his body as he gets a little straight through that rear hip. But an excellent goat here. Good job feeding that thing, young man. You did an excellent job showing. Two young ladies here rounding out the class. I think, again, they do an excellent job showing these things. I wish we could get a little bit more cover on these things. I wish we could stouten them up just a touch and give them a little bit more stoutness of feature and with the body. But the two young ladies did an excellent job getting these goats here. Let's give them a round of applause. Great first class.
Your results for Class 1. In 5th place, Lauren Smith. In 4th place, Kinley Folks. In 3rd place, Briggs Morgan. In 2nd place, Callie Schneider. And in 1st place, Griffin Fuller. Entering the ring in Class 2, Gunnar Daniels, tag 55. Addison Ridenauer, tag 6. Emmett Fox, tag 37. Hunter Kearns, tag 32. Emma Ridenauer, tag 5. And Tommy Cutlip, tag 7. Judge, this is your class. Class 3, please come to the holding area. All exhibitors stay close for the final drive.
Well, this is certainly interesting. And wow, this is a tough class. I think top to bottom, this was an incredibly tough class. I think all of these goats in here handled incredibly well. There's certainly some people that know how to feed in this county. And I'm going to start with the young man up here in the front with the I think the one that runs away with the class in terms of handle and overall muscle expression, shapeliness, and that overall top line. I really appreciate that about this one. When you look at him from the profile, he certainly doesn't give you that reach out and grabby kind of look like the young man's in second place there, but this one really dominates the class in terms of handle when I get on top of him, analyze him, and run my hands down his top line. This one certainly has been fit to perfection. This one, young man shows really well, and I think the way this guy kind of handles the class is definitely through his muscle shapeliness and carcass qualities, which is what we're all kind of looking for here as an end point. Young man here in second, if this was a prospect show, I really think this one would take the cake. I think he handles a little green, in my opinion. He doesn't quite have that explosiveness and overall width down his top line as the one in front of him. But this one's hip and hind leg is so cool. He's so incredible in his build. I wish when I got behind him we could pull him apart in terms of his pelvis and his rear hip there. And I think we could reconstruct this one to make him an absolute monster. But along with that, we need that handle. We need that shapeliness, which he just lacks. He's just a little bit green in my opinion. And I think this is an extremely tough class too. Extremely good goats here up top. The young man does an excellent job getting him shown. Good job, bud. Young man here in third again brings another extremely hard handling kind of guy, one that's super big in his feature and his foot, and really carries himself really well across the ring. I think he's probably the soundest goat in this class when we analyze him from a structure standpoint. He's super green in his handle. I appreciate the hard touch to him. I wish we could just pull him apart and make him a touch stouter in terms of his overall build, but one that stands on a lot of foot and bone. Young lady here, again, I think gets overpowered in this class. One that's constructed extremely well, gets a little finer in her overall features, but I think that one's fed well. She's stout. Good job. Just wish we could pull that one apart and give it a shot more handle and freshness today, but another good goat. And then the two young ladies here, I'd certainly be disappointed if I were you guys, because these are two extremely good goats. Good job, guys. Good job. I think the young lady here up front got that one a little past its prime. I think that one's getting a little bit chubby for my liking, and from the handle, and gets a little soft in terms of its overall handle. And then the young lady pulling up the rear there, I wish we could pull that one apart, give it some added stoutness, but a really, really good class, a really good second class there. I'm excited to see what the rest of the night holds.
The results in Class 2. In sixth place, Addison Ridenauer. In fifth place, Emma Ridenauer. In fourth place, Tommy Cutlip. In third place, Emma Folks. In second place, Gunnar Daniels. And in first place, Hunter Kearns. Now entering the ring, Class 3. Madison Stamper. Henry Fuller. Caleb Morgan. Carter Bertram. Madison Stamper. Griffin Fuller. And Callie Snyder. Judge, this is your class. Class 4 to the holding area, please.
Boy, this is another difficult class, and I think 1 through 5, they're all pretty interchangeable depending on who you get. And I apologize to those 4. I like this young man's the best. I think this one handles with the most amount of power. I think he's got the freshest in terms of, I think he's the freshest in terms of his handle. I like the way that one's constructed. Where I'd like to change him, I'd like to give him a shot more angle to his hock and level him out just a little bit in that hip. But I think this one has some pieces that are really hard to make. I think he's really pulled apart and opened up in terms of his chest floor. I think he's got a really interesting and really kind of neatly put together cage on him. And I think that one, when we talk handle, when we talk freshness, what I've been hammering the first 3 classes, I think this guy kind of takes the cake in terms of that. And I really like that young man's goat there. Young man in second here, again, another really competitive class. I think depending on who's judging this deal, they could pick that one to win, as well as some beyond, down the line there. I think this one's constructed really well. I think he's extremely sound and functional when he gets out on the move. I think he is pulled apart and blown apart in his chest floor. Well, I'd like to correct him a little bit. I'd like to give him a shot more handle, shot more freshness, and shot of overall power through the loin portion of his top line. But again, another really good one. This one's fed extremely well. I like where this one's at in terms of his finish point. Just doesn't quite have the power to get up and compete with that young man's in front of him, but another good goat there. We'll see those 2 back later. Young man here coming in third. Wow, this one's really green. This one surprised me in terms of his handle. I like this one, structural correctness. I like the growth. I like the frame in this one. Young man's having a little bit of a battle here, but he's doing an excellent job getting him shown. I'd like to stouten this guy up. I'd like to pull him apart in his frame. I'd like him to have a shot more base width and be constructed with a shot more overall width through his cage and through his rear hip there. But again, one that this young man has fed incredibly well, handles incredibly well. Just wish there was more to him from a rear view. Another good goat here, kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. This girl here has fed this one extremely well. I think it gets a little bit past midnight for myself personally, but I think this one's extremely stout through its rear quarter. I think this one has an extremely big rear hip, handles really well in terms of his loin. Just wish we could freshen him up just a shot through that rack and through that loin. And I'd like to give that one a shot more flex through its hock and into its rear leg there as he gets a little bit straight from a profile here. But again, another really good goat for this young lady. She does an excellent job showing it. Certainly appreciate that. Another good goat there. Young lady here, again, another goat. I keep hammering handle. This one just didn't have enough for me, in my opinion. Congratulations. Young lady does an excellent job getting this one shown. Again, I like the way this one's constructed. The set to that one's rear leg, set to that one's pastern and hock. This one's big featured, this one's big footed. Just doesn't quite have the overall carcass qualities to match to run her up higher in the class today. Young lady did an excellent job. And the 2 young people here towards the end of the class, again, 2 hard-handling kind of goats that you really appreciate in terms of their lack of overall muscle or lack of overall fat, and you appreciate their trim to them, but 2 that just, again, need a shot more power, need to be pulled apart a little bit and cleaned up in terms of their line from their top line and their bottom and the bottom side of their bodies. But 2 excellent goats here to end this class. Again, another really tough class here. Certainly high quality show here today. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
The results for Class 3. In 6th place, Madison Stamper. In 5th place, Caleb Morgan. And in 7th place, Madison Stamper. 6th place, Madison Stamper. 5th place, Caleb Morgan. 4th place, Callie Schneider. 3rd place, Carter Burcham. 2nd place, Griffin Fuller. And 1st place, Henry Fuller. Now entering the ring in Class 4, Lainey Morgan, tag 2. Isabella Kearns, tag 34. Hayden Miller, tag 8. Carter Burcham, tag 35. And Hunter Kearns, tag 33. Judge, this is your class. Class 5, please report to the holding area.
little more logical class in my opinion to sort, and I think there's some differences that we can look at in these two, and I wish we could take some pieces from one and blend them into the other one, and I think we'd have an extremely competitive goat that could compete at about any level. But I think this young man up here in the front has the one that's handled possibly the best today. I certainly appreciate that one in terms of its width through its loin and into its rack shape there. I think he's got this guy put together. He's got him perfectly at midnight. The hind quarter on this one is extremely special when we analyze him from the rear. He's super pulled apart in his build, and I think he's shown enough expression here today to let me know this guy kind of knows what he's doing back home with a feed pan. Presented very well, too. Young man does an excellent job showing it. Young lady, nothing against your goat here. I think this guy's extremely long and elevated. Long and elevated in his build. You really like this one from a profile with how long that one's neck is and how it shoots out of the top side of its shoulder. This one's put together extremely well in terms of structure, and as she gets out onto the move, this goat really likes to perform and show off and get that thing's head up and flex really well off of both ends. I think this one handles extremely well. I certainly appreciate the greenness of him still. He's not past the point of too fat, and I think he might need a shot more fat here. If the show was tomorrow, I think we could change that one a little bit personally, but young lady does an excellent job getting that one shown. Just wish we could pull that one apart in terms of its skeleton, in terms of its build, but young lady does an excellent job getting this one shown. Let's give those two a round of applause. Young man here again is showing really well. I like this one in terms of his productivity. I think this guy's extremely pulled apart in his build. I like the handle on this guy. He's extremely stout, extremely powerful kind of goat. But when we analyze him from the profile, he tends to get off in his balance, get up in his top a little bit, and I think that's a product of not being constructed quite as well as the two in front of him. Young man does an excellent job getting him shown. This is a big goat for a little guy like you, so good job, bud. Keep it up. Next two goats in line here again, I think same story. I wish we could tighten these one up in their hide a little bit. They're big featured, they're stout made. Just wish we could pull them apart, give them a shot more handle. Young ladies do an excellent job getting these ones shown. Let's give this class a round of applause.
The results for Class 4. In 5th place, Hayden Miller. In 4th place, Laney Morgan. In 3rd place, Carter Bertram. In 2nd place, Isabella Kearns. And in 1st place, Hunter Kearns. Now entering the ring, Class 5, Briggs Morgan, tag 3. Bailey Fuller, tag 44. And Hayden Miller, tag 9. Judge, this is your class. All 1st and 2nd place, please report to the holding area at this time. 3rd and 4th be by your pins on standby.
Smaller class here as we round out the classes here in this portion of the show, and I think young lady here brings us one that again has found its way into the heavyweights, and I think that's right where this one needs to be in terms of his skeleton and the grow ability to this one. He's got some center dimension to him. You can tell he's meant to be a bigger frame kind of goat, one that's a little bit longer in his overall pattern, and I think young lady did an excellent job getting this one to the correct endpoint. He handles fresh enough. He's plenty stout. He's got enough rear quarter, I think, to compete with anything out here today. And the young lady does an excellent job getting this one shown. We'll see her right back out here. Young man here in the blue shirt again brings another one out here that's super stout, super pulled apart, big in his feature. Just wish we could give that one a little shot more handle, shot more overall muscle from the top side of its body. But young man's doing an excellent job getting this one shown out here. Going into third place one here, another good kind of feeding goat, one that's extremely sound and functional as it gets out and move, one that profiles really well. Young lady, I wish we could just get that one to handle a shot more stouter, add some power to that thing. But two really good goats here to round out your show. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
And the results of Class 5. In third place, Hayden Miller. In second place, Briggs Morgan. And in first place, Bailey Fuller. First and second place goats, please report to the holding area. Class 1, first place, Griffin Fuller. Tag 46. Class 2, first place, Hunter Evans, tag 32. Hunter Kearns, sorry. Class 3, first place, Henry Fuller, tag 45. Class 4, first place, Hunter Kearns, tag 33. In Class 5, first place, Bailey Fuller, tag 44. Third place to the holding area, please.
Let's put our hands together for all these young people and all the people around the ring that make this possible. Well, I certainly want to thank everyone here on the fair board and everyone that sets this thing up and anyone that has any involvement in getting these things to the ring and getting this fair set up. It certainly has been a surprise in a good way for me, being from almost 4.5 hours north. I didn't really know what to expect, not to the good or not to the bad. I just didn't know what to expect. It's not in my area of expertise. I don't get to travel down here as much as I'd like to because it's such a beautiful country down here. And needless to say, I'm very, very pleased with the goats that we have. The goats that we have in this ring here, and even the ones that we left kind of back in the barn that I'm sure we'll see a couple of them here as we sort through these. Again, this is an extremely deep set of goats. I'm blown away by the quality, and not only the quality, but the handle and the feed quality of these things. There's definitely some people down here that really know what they're doing and are really, really talented at putting a feed bucket in front of these things and getting the end result that we all want. In my opinion, I think there's one out here that just kind of reached out and grabbed me. When we get down into reserve and into our top 10 here, it gets a little bit gets a little bit different for me. I think there's a lot of different shapes and sizes to these things, and I think a good one doesn't have to fit a perfect template. I think they come in all different shapes and sizes. And honestly, if I could raise even half of these from what we're doing at home, I'd certainly be happy with the end product here. Let's give these guys a round of applause. This is an extremely hard project to do, and these guys are doing an excellent job getting them shown. I'll go out and get you a grand all the way through a top 10. Again, I want to thank everyone for having me out here today.
Carter Burcham, tag 25, 35. To the ring, please. Laney Morgan, tag 2, to the makeup area. Your grand champion market goat is Hunter Kearns, tag 33. I need Hayden Miller, tag 9, to the ring. Okay. 2023 Market Goat Reserve is Bailey Fuller, tag 44. We need Laney Morgan, tag 2 to the ring. Hayden Miller, tag 8 to the makeup area. I need Emmett Fulks, tag 37 to the ring. And Tommy Cutlip to the makeup area, tag 7. I need Carter Burcham, tag 36 to the ring. Callie Schneider, tag 21 to the makeup area. We need Tommy Cutlip, tag 7 to the ring. Emma Ridenauer, tag 5 to the makeup area. I need Hayden Miller, tag 8 to the ring. We need Briggs Morgan, tag 4 to the arena. That concludes our 2023 Market Goat Show. Top 10 goats. In 10th place, Emmett Fawkes. 9th place, Griffin Fuller. 8th place, Griffin Fuller. 7th place, Carter Bertram. 6th place, Gutter Daniels. 5th place, Henry Fuller. 4th place, Hunter Kearns. 3rd place, Isabella Kearns. Reserve Champion Market Goat, Bailey Fuller, and Grand Champion Market Goat, Hunter Kearns. Now we're going to start Goat Showmanship. Class 1, Griffin Fuller and Laney Morgan. Judge, this is your class. Once again, Class 2, please report to the holding area. After the goat show, we would like for all back tags to be returned, and there are drop slips that you need to pick up by the end of the night at the announcer stand. Thank you.
Into our showmanship class, and I'm still having a blast out here, and I'm still tickled from that final drive there. As we get into our senior showman, I think there's some things, I'll do the same pattern the rest of the night, so young people, if you're out there, and if you're in a lighter class, just pay attention. We're doing the same pattern all night, and I'll tell you that right now. To me, the biggest thing when we look at showmanship, I want to see the best look I possibly can from that goat, from the profile and from the rear view. When I say that, I want our feet square. I want that thing presented. I don't want that thing super stretched out. I don't want that thing swinging at an angle, whether it's head or it's back end, swinging either way. Again, I want to remember that pattern, and I want you to stay out of the way of the judge when he's going through different points of the different points of the ring. I think there's two fairly competitive showmen in here. I think they're very equal in terms of their showing ability, and I think one maybe does some things better than the other one, but again, the other one kind of complements that one, or kind of does the opposite of things better than the other guy there. So it's a tough decision for me. Young lady, just in terms of a brace, you're going to be your champion showman. Young man, you'll be second place. Just wish we got those feet squared up a little better and we had a little better look from the profile. Congratulations, guys. Good job.
Our results for Class 1. Griffin Fuller in second place and Laney Morgan in first place. Now entering the ring, Class 2, Isabella Kearns. Madison Stamper, Emma Ridenauer, and Hayden Miller. Judge, this is your class. Class 3, please report to the holding area at this time. Class 3.
Really deep set of showmen here as we work into some of our younger classes here. And I think there's a lot of things that all these ladies do extremely well, and I think there's some things we need to improve upon as we get around the ring and handle these goats. Again, we want to be smooth when we transition from either side of that goat's head. We really need to work on, some of us need to work on some hand placement around that goat's head to get that thing to set up and brace for us well. Again, and getting those goats to stay put. I know it's kind of later in the day, it's cooling down, and these goats are wanting to move a little bit, but we got to get out here and give those things some endurance at home and get them some time on the lead. That being said, I think there's one young lady out here that does a really excellent job of getting one presented. I think she wins this kind of running away. Young lady in the black, you'll be a champion showman. As we get on down through second and fourth, again, I think there's a lot of give and take with these young ladies here left in the ring. In my opinion, I'm going to go with some consistency. I think there's one of this remaining trio here that just gave me the most consistent look from the profile. I think she was the most calm, cool, and composed. Again, one we need to work on some hand placement around her head, but young lady, you'll be second. Into third and fourth, and I think it gets really difficult for me. I think we're kind of splitting hairs. There were definitely some moments where each of them looked like they wanted to reach up and grab third and if not work their way into second. But I think they're both kind of struggling with some more cantankerous goats here, ones that want to give them a little bit more of a handful. That being said, I think the young lady that was more consistent, more precise with her movements would be this young lady in the red here, and young lady, you'll be fourth. Congratulations, guys.
Your results for Class 2. In third place, Emma Ridenauer. In second place, Madison Stamper. And in first place, Isabella Kearns. Now entering the ring, Class 3, Bailey Fuller, Gunnar Daniels, and Annie Ridenauer. Judge, this is your class. All first place goats from Showmanship, please report to the holding area. Please.
Another good class of seniors, and I think they're all fairly competitive with each other. I appreciate how each one of them kind of handles their way around the head of the goat. I think they're all, again, getting a little restless out here in the ring, which is fine. And something I don't know if I've ever seen with the vet out here following one around. And let's give her a round of applause. She's doing an excellent job out here. A good couple set of showmen here, and I think I can go through each one of them individually and kind of give you some pointers, I guess. Young lady, I wish you could get those feet a little bit more square for me. I like your composure. I like your intensity. You do an excellent job handling yourself around the goat. We just need to work on getting those feet slightly more square when we look at them from the profile. Young man, you do an excellent job. You're extremely attentive, and I appreciate how square that one is when he sets up in the ground. For me, with that goat itself, after handling that one in the class prior, that one needs to be pushed up on and really driven into the sternum of that thing to get a good drive on that thing. But young man, you do an excellent job with the feet and legs of that guy. An excellent showman there. And young lady here, again, a really good goat here, one that gives you kind of an easy look from the side, but one we got to work on squaring up. I know he's a little bigger. He can give you a little bit more fit, but one we really got to drive into. Again, some leash time at home would get that guy kind of calmed down a little bit and get some endurance on that guy because he's getting a little feisty for you out here. But three really good showmen. Young man in the red, you'll win this class. Young lady in the green, you'll be second. And young lady in the floral, you'll be third.
Your results for Class 3. Addie Ridenauer in third. Bailey Fuller in second. And Gunnar Daniels in first place. Your overall born and raised market goat is Bailey Fuller, and reserve is Henry Fuller. Now entering the ring is the first place contestants. First was Laney Morgan. Second is Isabella Kearns, and third is Gunnar Daniels. Judge, this is your class. Class 4 juniors, please report to the holding area.
Three extremely good showmen, and I think they'd be competitive at about any county fair or even at the state level. I think these guys could probably put a hurting on a few of them guys that go around and show all year, and I'm sure these two do here with the amount of quality that we have up here in the front part of this class. Nothing against you, young lady in the front here. You ran into a couple of buzzsaws here in your final drive, senior showman, and you do an excellent job as well. Just some feet placement things we need to work on, getting a little bit more precise, like these two up here in front of you, because these guys are on it. They are so quick. They're so good at getting these things square, getting a good look to them. They lead really well. As they spin around the head, they're both, I like the pace to it. I like the intensity that both of them have, as they're both kind of staring me down right now, and I certainly appreciate that. I think what it comes down to, I think there's one showman out here that gets those feet set up slightly more square. Appreciate the ear placement of this go. As weird as that sounds, that's one thing I really like, and I really try to hammer home to my showman at home, is getting those ears up and getting that good profile and silhouette to that kind of goat as we get out here on the profile. That being said, it was extremely close. There's two really talented showmen out here that can show anything they want for me. Cattle, goats, it doesn't matter. They do an excellent job. Young lady in the black, you're going to be a champion showman.
Your 2023 overall senior showman goes to Isabella Kearns. Now entering the ring is your junior showman class 1, Hunter Kearns, Callie Snyder, Tommy Cutlip, and Caleb Morgan. Judge, this is your class. Class 2 of the juniors, so class 5, please report to the holding area at this time. Thank you. I'd like to remind everybody to please return your back tags before you leave the barn, and pick up your drop slips at the announcement center. Thank you.
An excellent way to start the juniors here, and I think it's fairly competitive from top to bottom, and I think there's a couple that kind of reach out to me and take control of this class. Some things we need to work on as we get into our juniors. When I tell my younger kids at home, they get out and show goats for me, I like them to use the whole ring, really get out and spread themselves out. Don't cut corners, don't cut through the middle of the ring, but again, keep a respectable distance from you in the wall when we got those things stuck, which you guys all do here. I think, again, there's one out here that does an excellent job getting one shown. I wish they'd pay a little bit more attention to me most of the time, but I think they do a good job majority of the time getting one stuck. And that'll be the young man right here at the end of the line will win this class. As we get on down second through third, I think, again, there's another young lady that pairs herself up nicely with this young man, and I think she might be a little bit younger showman, so she's got some room to grow. Young lady in the plaid, you'll be second place in this class. As we get on into third and fourth, again, it's getting kind of hard, and it's getting later in the day, it's getting cooler, and these goats are wanting to move around more and fight these guys a little bit more. And I think both of these young ladies do an excellent job of getting them shown. Again, I think there's some give and take to how they show them. I wish we could get those feet squared up. I appreciate the intensity in both of them. They both give me excellent eye contact. They look like they're having fun out here. But due to one spinning around, young lady, you're going to be third, and you'll be fourth, young lady. Good job.
Your results for the Class 1 of the juniors. Caleb Morgan in 4th, Callie Schneider in 3rd, Tommy Cutlip in 2nd, and Hunter Kearns in 1st. Now entering the ring, Class 2 of the juniors. Briggs Morgan, Carter Bertram, Emmett Fawkes, Henry Fuller, Kenley Fawkes, and Lauren Smith. Hunter Kearns, please be on standby.
Let's give these young people a round of applause. I'm going to say these guys all probably get outweighed on an average of about 50 pounds apiece. So I can't imagine how incredibly hard that would be to manhandle something like this and get pushed around and have it intentionally pushed back at you. I still scratch my head at how we're making this work, but all these young people are doing a whale of a job getting these things shown, and all these parents around the ring should be proud of these guys getting these guys shown. In my opinion, when you're this young, I think there's some things that we really need to work on. We need to hammer home the basics of getting those legs square, of working around the head of that animal and understanding where the judge is, and giving me some sort of look from the profile. And I think all these young people do an excellent job of that. And again, these are getting a little bit difficult here later in the day. And for me, I think the important things for these guys aren't exactly hand placement around the head, again, because their hands are so small. These things are so stout and powerful now, the more we breed into them. And I feel bad for making them stand out here, but I really can't make up my mind as why I'm filibustering here for these guys here. I think there's 3 or 4 people out here that do an excellent job of getting these things shown, have an excellent foundation for the start of their show future. And I'll go out and I'll place you 3. I'll talk to each one of them individually as we go through this. And after we place them here, let's give these guys a round of applause. I'll go from 1st to 3rd.
Your results for Class 2 juniors. Lauren Smith in 3rd place, Henry Fuller in 2nd place, and in 1st place, Emmett Fox. Hunter Kearns and Emmett Fox, please report to the holding area. Now the 1st place winners in their classes from Class 1, Hunter Kearns, and from Class 2, Emmett Fox. Judge, this is your class.
We bring back 2 really good showmen here. I think they're good in different ways, and I think they both have extremely bright futures ahead of them. Problem is, I think, young man in 2nd, you're a little farther along into your future. You'll be your champion junior showman, both excellent showmen. Let's give them rounds of applause.
Your overall junior showman goes to Hunter Kearns. And everybody, that concludes our 2023 Goat and Lamb Show. I would like to thank everybody for coming, and everybody have a great night.